In the kingdom of Liang, silence was said to hold more power than speech. The emperor ruled with calm eyes, his words as rare as a falling star. Among his court, a young advisor named Ren sought to prove his worth. He believed wisdom was measured by how much one could say with flair. The emperor watched him speak often, his face still as a frozen lake. Courtiers admired Ren's charm, yet whispers of arrogance began to grow. The silence of the throne hall became heavy, thick with unseen judgment. One word too many could summon storms, one pause too long, suspicion. Still, Ren dreamed of greatness, blind to the quiet power of restraints. And so began his test, not of sword or blood, but of the weight of words. Ren's rival, Lady May, spoke seldom, yet every word struck like a blade. She bowed humbly, letting silence follow her phrases like sacred wind. The emperor favored her quiet, her calm presence outshining Ren's zeal. "Silence is a mirror," she once said. "It shows what noise cannot hide." Ren laughed, then, his voice echoing through the jade-pillared chamber. He saw her restraint as weakness, mistaking stillness for submission. While May waited and watched, Ren danced in his flood of eloquent talk. But in the court of power, talk was fire. It burned as much as it shone. Soon, Ren's words began to twist in others' mouths, stirring envy's dust. The emperor listened, yet his silence grew longer, darker, more distant. A great meeting was called, the emperor seeking counsel on war and peace. Ren saw his moment, his chance to shine brighter than all before him. He spoke of courage, destiny, and the glory of striking first in battle. His voice thundered like drums, and courtiers nodded in false approval. Lady May remained still, her gaze lowered, as calm as winter rivers. When asked to speak, she simply bowed and said, "Victory hides in patience." The emperor's eyes narrowed, his silence filled the hall like a storm. Ren smiled, thinking he had won with passion and well-placed pride. But beneath the quiet, unseen meanings were already taking root. For in the emperor's world, silence was not absence, it was command. Days later, a decree was announced the emperor would choose a new envoy. Ren waited eagerly, his heart pounding like a caged tiger in his chest. The choice would decide who led the coming peace with the northern tribes. Rumors filled the palace like smoke, each whisper sharper than steel. "Surely, Ren will be chosen," said many, "for he speaks with such fire." But when the emperor entered, the room fell still under his quiet gaze. He spoke but once. The envoy must know when not to speak at all. His hand rose slowly, and the crowd held its breath in trembling awe. The emperor turned to Lady May. Her bow was deep, her lips unparted. Ren's triumph turned to ash, and silence pressed him into regret's shadow. As May departed north, Ren was ordered to remain behind and observe. The emperor summoned him privately, his voice as soft as drifting snow. "Words," he said, "can feed the ego or poison the ear that hears them." Ren's tongue burned with pride, but his heart felt the sting of truth. Weeks passed, and no word came from the envoy. No letters, no reports. Then one dawn, May returned alone, but with peace secured and sealed. The emperor smiled faintly, saying, "Her silence bought what war could not." Ren bowed deeply, finally tasting the weight of what he had never known. The palace seemed quieter that day, as if all walls were listening too. Silence was no longer emptiness to him. It was power, pure and ancient. Ren withdrew from the court, taking refuge in a remote mountain temple. There, he spoke little, watching clouds drift like unspoken thoughts. His few words grew heavier, treasured like jade carved by time itself. Villagers came for counsel, and he listened more than he advised. Travelers said he had found peace, the kind that silence alone could birth. In stillness, Ren became what he once sought to appear, truly wise. The emperor would sometimes send messengers, seeking Ren's quiet wisdom. And in the hush of the temple bells, he found the melody of restraint. Power, he learned, was not in voice, but in the space words dared not fill. The once loquacious advisor became legend, a ghost of gentle silence. Words can build empires, yet they can also summon their ruinous fall. The art of speech lies not in volume, but in the wisdom to withhold. Silence is not weakness, it is the armor of those who see beyond noise. In stillness, truth ripens, untouched by the hands of vanity or haste. Ren's story reminds us that power often hides behind quiet veils. Those who speak less are seldom unheard, they are simply measured. For when every word counts, the listener leans closer, not away. Silence commands attention, while chatter breeds forgetfulness. The wise know that speech, once loosed, cannot return unaltered. So they master the pause, where meaning speaks louder than voice. And so, in every era, the lesson endures, say less than necessary. Let silence be your ally, not your fear, and power will find you. In counsel, in battle, in love restraint is the mark of mastery. For those who govern words, rule not only tongues, but destinies. Speak with intent, not impulse. Let every phrase carry true weight. The wise leave space between words, and therein others find truth. If you seek influence, remember Ren's fall and May's quiet rise. Practice this law. In speech, be as calm as still water, as deep as night. Follow the way of silence, master it, and the world will speak for you.